Dexperience Digimon. Dex.
What's
Hi everyone, and welcome
Chef.
to the next episode of We Review Pokemon episodes and then talk about them and have a great time.
And
it's called Dexperience.
That's right.
Thank you for the new name, Dennis.
Yeah, we weren't prepared for that one.
It's got a ring to it, right?
What?
Yeah, of
what?
course. Today we're going to be
What?
talking
Wait,
about...
what? What you
Yeah, man,
name?
we're gonna do now. Anyway,
The
I'm
one that-
Harry.
I'm Logan,
I'm Dennis.
I'm out of the loop, and I'm Oliver. Hi.
and today we're going to be talking about episode 17,
Island of the Giant Pokemon.
But first of all, I've done two amazing drawings.
Amazing drawing.
Beautiful.
For you
Throwback.
guys.
Cool. So,
Okay, do you want-
when was the last time we played this?
I think it was the first
it was like
episode.
episode 2.
First or second episode?
With
Yeah.
Bulbasaur and stuff, or Ivysaur, whatever. it is.
Logan
Okay,
is an artist.
Yeah,
If
we'll
you're
post-
new to the
we-
podcast.
we would have posted these on our Facebook page so that you guys can
see it.
you guys can play along.
Yeah, and we'll put it on the YouTube
It's a bundle.
and
So-
Instagram and such
Here's
as well.
here's
Final
the,
answer.
here's the easy one.
You know,
Oh,
I
that's-
don't know what that could be.
That's so adorable. Okay, who wants to describe it?
It looks like a white rabbit with candy corn for ears.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
orange ears.
Its
Candy.
eyes,
Orange ears.
Oh, candy
its eyes look like it's
Stoned.
being deprived of heroin for the past 3 days.
It looks like it's been bitten on its neck,
Yeah.
like on both
Yeah.
sides.
But if I had to guess,
It's like bleeding out because I
Yeah.
forgot to draw.
It looks like it's been like flattened like a pancake.
Oh my
if I
my
have
God.
to guess, I'm gonna say Sobble.
What?
I was
not a
thinking
Sobble.
Grookey myself.
Rookie.
What's happening? Are you doing?
I
thing-
almost actually did draw a Sobble instead of
Oh.
Well, it's obviously
It's
Bunnelby.
Skull Buddy.
Score Bunny.
Score Bunny,
Ah.
who was my main for Pokemon
I hate
Shield.
Score
your
Bunny.
OTP.
Yeah, who did you guys pick?
Rookie gang.
Grookey gang.
Sobble for
Good
life.
game.
I love Sobble.
I hate Sobble.
Good, okay, are you guys ready? This one's gonna be hard
Sobble's
because
great.
Oh.
I accidentally only drew room for. You'll see.
Okay.
All right.
Wait. Wait, it looks like
Oh
a
my-
mix of two
oh my
Pokemon.
goodness. It
does look like
looks
a
like
mix
a
of two
mix of
Pokemon.
Greninja and
Oh my
Dialga.
God.
No, it's like a mix of Greninja
That
and
is-
Kyogre.
Whoa.
That, I'm actually impressed.
Wait,
it's
That could be a
scary.
Pokemon all by itself.
It could be like, it's like three things mushed together.
Do you want to
what's
describe
that?
it?
What's that? Rick and Morty, Cronenbergs. You know when they turn
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
Cronenbergs.
Do you want to know the history behind it?
Yes.
I had about half an hour before I finished work. No, okay, so I drew 3 legs before, and then I realized, wait, I drew 3 limbs, and I was like, wait, it has 4 limbs. So I had to like add on
I honestly,
the
it could be.
extension on the right side. That's why that right limb
It
doesn't
could
look
be.
as
What?
good.
There are like 3 things that I think it could be.
Okay, what are your guys'
I
guesses?
think it's Greninja.
Yeah.
I think it's. See, because of the tongue, like it looks like it's a tongue scarf, which Greninja has. It makes me think Greninja,
This is like
but it looks like
consolation.
Dialga to me. I'm really
Yeah.
getting Dialga vibes.
I mean, it's
I'm
the
saying
it's the webbed feet.
I'm
yeah,
getting
true.
Samurott.
I'm gonna say
vibes.
Dialga.
Okay.
You're
Yeah.
gonna say Dialga?
Yeah.
But I mean, I would have said Samurott, but there's like a lot of
Three
pink
different-
there. It is also like looks like there's like hints of Kyogre as well, or
There's
Yeah.
no pink in.
that might
There
just
is
be
no
like
pink. I don't
eldritch,
know.
like an
I
eldritch
think you can
horror.
take this one.
Yeah, that's kind of what I
But-
was going for.
Was it? I really
Yeah,
admire
you
your
Lovecraft fan,
artwork. You know, it looks
Yeah.
It
like
is.
it's like if I looked at it from far away, it would look kind of like a Pokemon,
could
and
be
then
its
you
own
look at it
Pokemon.
close up,
So what do you think
and
it
it's
is, Dennis?
terrifying.
It's quite the conundrum.
I want to say, yeah, I think it's Greninja as well.
And Greninja is
Yeah.
right.
Hey.
So actually, my art style. I'll give you guys a little insight into
Okay.
how I try to draw the
Can you
outline
read-
of them in
can you-
one go.
Can you really explain like excellence?
No, I can't. No, but just people can try imitate my art style. Like this is
I'll
what
give
your
it
art teachers would tell you.
Mhm.
He tries to draw the outline of the animal first.
There's a fun fact about Greninja, and that is that Oliver is too good to play Greninja in Smash anymore
I'm too good.
because he's too good.
He's pretty good. If
Yeah.
you want to challenge Oliver at Greninja, let us know. We'll sort
what
out
I-
a tourney.
What I
Yeah,
find
email
funny
us
is that-
at the Dexperience podcast at gmail.com.
Oh yeah. I will destroy
So
you.
what I found funny is that ever since he made that claim, he has failed to win the game as Greninja.
That is a lie. I've won a few games.
I've won a few games. Okay, well, should we jump into an episode recap?
Yeah, let's do
Yeah.
it. Rightio, guys. So we wake back up on the beach after another cliffhanger
Oh my gosh.
of
Yeah.
the gang getting blown away in this giant twister. We first stumble across just Ash, Misty, and Brock. And boy, is Ash missing 3 of his Pokemon.
Oh
I
no.
wonder what 3 that could be.
That was actually
Could it be the
shocking.
3 most marketable ones?
Who would have thunk it?
Oh my gosh.
And then we cut.
Oh my god, yeah.
To
Sorry.
Team Rocket.
I'll talk about what I thought happened after. So.
We cut to Team Rocket afterwards. Team Rocket again have lost their Pokemon. Jessie has lost her Ekans she got for her birthday, and James has lost his Coffin he got for Christmas.
And Pikachu's gone as well.
Yeah, Pikachu's gone with Ash as well. I should have mentioned that. We then cut to Pikachu all by himself with 3 lone Pokeballs.
Pikachu.
And who would have thunk it? It could have been Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur.
Oh my god.
Pikachu lets
Oh,
out
dear Lord.
the 3 Pokemon, and then they all start talking. Yes, that's right, guys. The majority of this episode, we followed the Pokemon and not the people. How wonderful
It's awesome.
was that?
Great,
So
great, great.
good.
So they all have a lovely little discourse about, hey, where's Ash at? They see a cool little Slowbro and approach the Slowbro and ask where they are. The Slowbro fails to answer. Sorry, I'm saying Slowbro. I meant Slowpoke.
Fool. Fake fan.
I'm a fake fan.
Fake fan.
And then Charmander gets a bit angsty, so he asks again. And instead of answering, Slowpoke just dips his tail in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Quite interesting. We then cut to Meowth, who is accompanied by Coffin and Ekans. So it's quite clear that all the Pokemon are together and all the people are separate from the Pokemon.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
no.
So the Pokemon start
Separation.
making a little journey around. They have a good little chat, asking about where Ash is. Charmander, the one who previously has been abandoned, is quite timid about this. Wonder who he is. Squirtle, the little comical guy, she's having a good time. And where Bulbasaur, who had to protect a whole bunch of Pokemon in a hidden village abused by Pokemon, is quite pessimistic and says that Ash has probably abandoned us.
It's real sad.
Oh.
Quite sad. We then again cut to Meowth and Coffin and Ekans, where Meowth spies the other 4 Pokemon, saying that we can finally approach them and attack them. Let's get them! Meowth tries to do that, but Coffin and Ekans disobey his orders because he's simply not their master. It is then through this discussion with Coffin and Ekans that we learn that actually Pokemon are not the bad guys, it's the people that control them that are the bad people.
Guns don't kill people.
People kill people. That's not right. Guns do kill people. We don't support
Legalize.
that. Yeah.
People kill guns.
So the Pokemon, they all have a nice little chat. Coffin Ekans has a good chat with the other 4, with Meowth tied up. They'll have a good, deep and meaningful conversation, like we all
DMC.
do at 2 a.m. at a party. It's a good little time. We are then, out of nowhere, a giant Rhydon
Rhydon,
comes
not
out of nowhere.
Rhyhorn, like Dennis wrote in his notes.
Yeah,
What
giant Rhydon pops out of nowhere, scaring all the Pokemon to run away.
I was like half riding, half like watching.
But we
maybe.
forget that Meowth is still tied to this tree, and Pikachu, I believe, reluctantly stops and lets him out without a thank you from Meowth. We then get a quick cut to Ash, Misty, and Brock, who are being chased by a ginormous Zapdos, and into another cut with Jesse and James being chased by a ginormous Moltres, where they then run face first into a sign that says "Keep out." Ominous.
Very
They all
ominous.
spend the night, the Pokemon having this weird dream at a bar that lingers for too long with a
Yeah.
Slowbro serving them booze. Quite
Is that a
interesting.
dream?
Yeah,
I don't,
Yeah, it was
it's
a
not a
dream.
dream.
yes, it's a
Yeah.
dream.
It's not a
Because they
dream.
all
don't think
wake
it's a
up.
dream.
Yeah, it's a dream. Well, we can discuss this after
Okay,
the
we
recap.
can talk about this. This is like Inception.
Yeah.
They have a dream now, all wake up next, curled up to Ekans' tail, all sleeping lovely and calm together.
Mm-hmm.
Ash and the gang wake up in a cave. Team Rocket wake up where they got knocked out for 8 hours. That's not a good sign.
No,
They all start to make the journeys again.
Concussion.
Ash and gang run into a ginormous Charizard. And the other Pokemon, they run into a ginormous Blastoise with Pikachu, Charmander, and Bulbasaur.
Those big pumps.
Egging on Squirtle, go and talk to the Blastoise because you are the same type. And Squirtle says, "Yo, what's up, my bro?" Blastoise turns around and
Quote.
hits it with a giant water gun.
Brother.
Brother. And then we then cut to another encounter with a giant Venusaur, where they all egg on Bulbasaur, to speak. I believe it's either Squirtle or Charmander that says, "He's part of your family," and Bulbasaur's like, "Nah, it's not. I'm an orphan." Charmander's like, "Oh, you're right." And Squirtle's like, "Yeah, nerd, coward." It's a good time. Quite interesting.
You're
We
a
then-
grass type, Bulbasaur.
We then cut to Team Rocket being chased by a ginormous Kabutops, fossil Pokemon, for those that don't know. They find
Thank
this
you.
weird track and they hop onto it where they accidentally break the brake. That's hard to say. Break the brake.
Break the break.
And they start going the way they came. Oh, what are the odds of that? But in the moment, a cable catches the Kabutops, chasing them. Excuse me, I had a little burp. Chasing them down the track. I also forgot to mention previously, while Team Rocket were hiding in the phone booth, that they saw Pikachu approaching. And they're like, oh, easy skill. We can catch this Pikachu. Turns out they left the telephone booth.
Oh my god.
And a ginormous Pikachu walks among them, almost crashing them to death. Which is what made him run towards the train track, which then led to the Kabutops. I already said that. Ash, Misty, and Brock are walking across a bridge where they also bump into this giant Pikachu. They then spy this big cloud of smoke of the Kabutops. They see the train coming down, and they hop in. And then they realize, oh, Team Rocket is in that train as well. Mm-hmm. It's then from a keen eye by Misty that Misty spots all the Pokemon who are being chased by these giant 3 starter types. The Pokemon, through trials, eventually make it on with a lovely reunited scene with Ash and Pikachu, with tears in their eyes. It's gorgeous. But not all things go right. As the cart escalates, they come up to this loop, which makes no sense because there's no seats in this cart. They make a full loop and continue with the speed. And it's at this moment that Meowth wisely says that the cable will snap. The cable snaps. James says we will be launched away. And they're launched away.
Oh my gosh.
And everybody in the cart is launched towards a ginormous Zapdos. They fly and break through the wing of the Zapdos.
What?
But what's this? Zapdos isn't real? Springs and screws are flying away from the Zapdos as it plunders into every other giant Pokemon. We see a Torbo.
My disappointment was
Gyarados
immeasurable.
Torbo. Of the wonderful theme park of Pokemon Land.
My
Disney
day was
World.
ruined and my
That
disappointment
is
was
a
immeasurable.
land full of giant Pokemon. They're all destroyed. Ash and the gang then somehow find a way safely off this island and onto the next city, which is the next.
Porta Vista.
And then we see, do we see Slowpoke evolve at the end of the
We
episode?
do.
Slowpoke
Yes.
does then evolve.
It has
Is that
evolved.
how it evolves? Like, with
Yeah.
its just sticks its tail in the water? and
Not
just
in
waits?
the games.
In the games, it evolves at level 38.
37 or
something.
38.
Yeah.
But it's very well known in the anime and every other kind of media, pretty much. For a Slowpoke to evolve, it needs to have a Shelder bite on its tail.
Even though the Pokemon that bites on its tail isn't Shelter.
I also
Yes.
thought
Is it? Shelder?
that, like,
No.
It's an evolved Shelder.
It's like a demo.
Evolved shells are closer.
Yeah, but it is like a different evolution of Shelder. I
Yeah,
guess.
which...
No, it's a
okay, what's the
Slowbro
name?
tail.
Yeah.
It's a Slowbro.
It's not a
they
Shelder.
come together.
It's not a Shelder.
Love.
I think it-
Love will bring us
I think there is some
together.
kind of media that says it's a Shelder, but originally in the demo, I think of Red and Blue, that Pokemon did exist. Pokemon was only just Slowbro,
interesting.
but wasn't put into the final game.
So what's everybody's thoughts on this episode?
I
Jay?
love this episode.
Me too.
It was hilarious. It was fun. It was wacky and crazy. And the bit like when they go on the minecart and there's like a roller coaster loop out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And then when Jesse and James are like calling out what's happening on the train, and they're like, oh, I guess, and then it'll snap, and then it snaps. It's just like it's so well timed, and like how it's just like manic from like even when they get like they decide to, it just like escalates so well because at first they're like pulling themselves along the telephone in the telephone booth because they need to stay safe from the Pokemon, and so you just like, that's a funny image, and then as you see them pulling it, and then they get into the booth, I
Mediocre
think.
Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then like
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
you didn't
dude.
mention the phone call to...
I did. Yeah, we can
Oh,
bring that up when we get to
so
it.
yeah, yeah.
good.
then the Pokemon that keep getting like trampled, and there's more destruction as this cart that seems to have like rocket boosters on it. You'd think that like they wouldn't be as easy to pull as they are, but they do
Well,
get pulled.
the brake broke, right?
Yeah,
I can't say that. That's so hard.
The
The brake.
the brake broke.
I was like, yeah, I was
The
like,
brake broke.
they're being like, how steep is like the hill, or how's the cart propelled? Because like they're being dragged by,
I mean,
unless the
Giant
robots are
robot
really
Pokemon.
light.
they might be like maybe electric. Well, I'm thinking too much about it, but like in Japan, they have like those speedy electromagnet
like monorails.
monorail,
Monorail.
type, like
Monorail.
bullet trains.
It's
That's
the same
it.
thought because
Yeah.
Indiana Jones as well in Temple of Doom. There's a
Yeah.
scene where he's going along in a
Yeah.
little minecart.
I love a good minecart scene, like
man.
in Scooby Doo.
Boy, do I love
They-
Minecraft.
It's a classic in
Yeah.
Scooby Doo.
Classic.
I was my disappointment was immeasurable.
What?
I loved it. I loved the twist.
What do you mean?
I loved the whole episode, and then like because like I was full of so much like wonder about how these Pokemon were done.
Yeah.
And then they broke through it, and I was
So
like,
what did you
I was like,
think?
oh my god, there's a Moltres. I was like, oh
Yeah.
my god, there's a Zapdos. Why do these things all exist?
Yeah.
And then they
How
don't.
they also
They don't. They're not
It
real.
was like,
Oh, poor
Oh.
little guy.
Very
But I mean-
Jurassic Park.
It's not called giant mon. It's called Pokemon.
Yeah, but
because
I
it's in your
thought-
pocket.
But the episode's called Island of the Giant Pokemon.
Yeah.
And we have
Yeah.
giant Pokemon now.
Yeah,
Well, we did it in 1999.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is like
But
they
like, I
really
guess for,
like
like,
giant Pokemon.
We
I
have
guess-
a giant Dragonite though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess for
next
me though
episode
as
as
well,
well.
like giant Pokemon, because like, I guess like when you guys would have watched this, giant Pokemon wouldn't have ever come across as a thought, maybe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for me, it is like it is possible. It is
So-
in the realm of
yeah.
possibility.
And so when you watched it, did you feel like that was a bit of a cop out then, that they were like just
I don't think
electronic?
it was I was just like, I was shocked. Like it was a good twist.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I was just sad.
I thought it was hilarious, the twist. Like, I didn't see it coming at all.
Neither
Like,
did I,
we
yeah.
watched it together.
Like when the loop de
I
loop
was like-
came, I was just like, who built? What? I was like, how would this loop de loop not be smashed by giant
'Cause-
Pokemon walking around?
Like,
And then I was just like, oh, it's a theme park.
That's
Okay.
the whole thing, though. Like, there's subtle little hints throughout
Yeah.
the entire episode
Yeah,
that there is a
definitely.
theme park.
Very
But
subtle.
it's like,
hints.
who builds like giant Pokemon and then like programs them to attack people and Pokemon on site?
Well, they weren't attacking people.
Well, they were attacking the Pokemon. They know that Charizard, that giant Charizard.
Oh, yeah, the Charizard did.
was like,
Oh, that's
And
right.
Blastoise
Flamethrower.
fired water
That's
at
right,
other
yeah,
Pokemon.
Yeah.
So
I,
then,
I
like-
retract my statement.
And then like also Moltres and Zapdos were chasing all of them as well. And it's like,
Oh no, I think they were just
How
flying
did-
It was flying
overhead.
over.
How did
Potentially,
Zapdos and stuff was actually able to manipulate the
electricity.
weather storm?
Really?
Well, it shot
Yeah.
electricity from its
Yeah,
wings.
just
but
put, like,
yeah,
And it made the
Blastoise-
sky black.
oh yeah.
Well, it was
Yeah.
nighttime.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just
It's just
saying.
nighttime.
Am I okay? Theory, big theory.
Okay.
That Zapdos and Moltres at nighttime could have been the real ones
Ooh.
because they both actually used full-on like abilities.
Ooh, what
Is
a
that-
plot
is that,
twist.
Is that your only evidence
Yeah.
to back it up, though? You haven't got any more theories to back that up?
Damn.
No,
Get him. Well, it's interesting you raised that point because it made me think about how like weather moves work in the video games. Because I've always thought like, oh, it use like if a Zapdos uses thunder in the game, I've always thought like, oh, how does a Pokemon like actually change the weather effects? But I guess in kind of that episode, we see it kind of shoot something into the sky, and then that creates thunder. So
Yeah.
it's not really like it's kind of creating its own weather.
Hey, think about
Yeah.
it. Changing
Something-
the weather is pretty catastrophic.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
well,
like,
that's
it's
kind
just
of-
stuff.
If that is
I-
how it works,
I
they
mean, you've
legitimately
got
I think
stuff
it's
like-
just
weather.
the last episode where I'm pretty sure the boat was torn down because of all of the
The
whirlwinds
Pokemon, yeah,
Yeah.
the Pidgeotos
made
and
the
that.
weather bad.
Yeah.
I mean, you have stuff like snow machines, and like if you
Mhm.
had like a really big snow machine, it would be like an air conditioner
You
for
got the-
reality.
You got the Tesla coil?
And you can make the effects
With
have,
flamethrower?
We
and
got
like
Teslas.
Pokemon now,
Yeah.
isn't like you can make the battlefield have certain effects, like you can do
Yeah,
drizzle.
trick room.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, you have the terrain abilities and stuff
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
What's the one that like things just got weird?
Yeah, psychic terrain.
Yeah, which is like
Yeah.
funny.
Misty terrain, which is fairy
so
terrain.
for some reason, I thought this whole episode that Ash had just for somehow like I was like I forgot that like all of the starter Pokemon also live in Pokeballs.
Yeah.
So when he was like, "Oh, I lost these Pokeballs," I was like, "Oh, like I thought he lost like Pidgey and Butterfree,"
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
and so I was like, and then when he I was like, wait, at the end of the episode, I was like, wait, he just abandoned two of his Pokemon, and it wasn't until this recap right now that I just realized
Wow.
that.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, what happens to those Pokeballs? Because they don't bring them with them. So
That was my thought as well.
I guess maybe he can just
well,
like
Ash must have
re-register
spare
them.
possibly.
ones, sure.
Yeah.
Is like some sort of
Same with-
paperwork.
Same with Coffin and Ekans as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so what-
We couldn't afford that.
What did we all think of the subtitles?
I was like, so I really enjoyed the subtitles.
For the Pokemon, we should.
I thought-
clarify.
Yeah, for the
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
talk.
They were like for the Pokemon, they were given subtitles. I think they stopped. They used it as a crutch in this episode. It's like one of the first kind of shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I think they more rely on the Pokemon being able to act out and being able to just show it. But I really did enjoy them. That
I
they did use subtitles.
loved it.
We should just touch on the shorts as well. So
The shorts.
before every movie,
yeah.
on the VHSs and DVDs
Yeah.
and stuff, there'll be quick Pokemon shorts, which is based around the whole Pokemon, particularly Pikachu and whatever Pokemon Ash has at that time of the movie, going on a little adventure. But they don't do subtitles in the shorts, I believe.
No. In Pikachu's Vacation, in the English version, in the Japanese version, they did have like a narrator, being like,
Yes,
they're doing
Logan.
to kind of
Pikachu's
contextualize.
Vacation.
Ah, yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's just funny. I've
That's-
never seen it. It's just
It's
funny.
good.
Yeah, the Pikachu's Vacation, I used to watch it all the time because it was like in front of the Pokemon movie, and
Yeah.
I'd watch that and then watch the Pokemon movie.
I forgot the whole Pokemon plot in this episode.
Yeah, when it was
I
happening.
completely forgot. It was a lovely surprise for me.
It was pretty cool.
It was awesome.
I was just cracking up, like, because like it was just like cha cha.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
the whole episode.
Bulbasaur.
Yeah.
Bulba
It's
means
like-
I'm adopted.
You know what
Oh
I
my
realized?
God. I hated Bulbasaur in this episode.
Oliver liked
What?
it.
I did
what
sympathize.
Bulbasaur hater actually
I
likes Bulbasaur?
sympathized with him a little bit when they were like, "Oh, what happened? Where's Ash?" And Bulbasaur was like, "Oh, he's probably abandoned us." Like, I did sympathize.
The guy who saved Charmander from like certain death in like water, and like wanted to free all of these. Oh, Bulbasaur wasn't there for freeing the Pokemon, but Ashley like risked his life multiple times, and he thinks, oh, he just abandoned like me, and even like Pikachu. No, I think Bulbasaur was just being a bit of a sad.
I guess the
No,
good way
but
to kind
that's-
of get around that is
yeah.
that since Ash gets Bulbasaur, we don't see him use Bulbasaur much in the first place.
Yeah.
And
Besides to escape that SSN.
yeah, there's not that
fight
much
thing,
he's
yeah.
used for, unfortunately, up until that
Same
point.
with Squirtle.
Yeah, well, same with Squirtle too, but Squirtle's peppy because
But-
Squirtle's peppy. But like, so you can kind of excuse him a little bit because he was a guardian of Pokemon that were just constantly abused
And
abandoned.
Bulbasaur
Yeah.
was abandoned as well, isn't it?
yeah.
You know what? I am Bulbasaur. Like, I used to be Bulbasaur. I used to think like that kind of that like
That
people
means Oliver hates you.
that like that people didn't that people didn't want to hang out with you. You just think like, oh, people don't want to hang out with me, or nobody likes me.
Did you think you were an orphan
because,
as well, Dennis?
Because like when you. Oh no!
Oh.
But when you get, I had to think about it.
What are we getting- what are we
getting
Oh, this is
But-
deep.
But when you get like into that kind of zone, your reality kind of warps around you, and you just like wanna, you believe certain things because, you feed your own negativity or like beliefs, and then like there's a feedback loop. But anyway,
the Pokemon,
it's good to break out of that.
The
Yeah.
Pokemon I felt really bad for, and this was Coffin and Ekans.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Also,
just to make.
Oh, yeah.
I think I sounded insensitive when I was talking about Bulbasaur. I understood where he was coming from,
I know you don't have to clarify.
but
fine,
he
you can
was
hate him,
like,
it's okay.
he
Yeah.
was.
He was
bringing,
being a downer.
He was
Yeah.
bringing like all of the other Pokemon
Yeah, the one-
unnecessary dread about the fact
Yeah.
that they
Yeah,
might.
he
even
was. It was like no point to his. Like,
I thought it was kind of funny
mer-
because
like,
like everyone's
moaning.
like, "Oh, what's going on?" He's like, "He's probably abandoned us."
Yeah.
He's like they're probably.
I
in a
thought it
ditch
was
somewhere.
Flashbacks, man.
Yeah.
But Coffin and Ekans.
That's
so-
that's
You
the
know
coolest
what?
thing I think about this whole episode.
Yeah,
was
they
Coffin
go on
and
this
Ekans.
big
Yeah.
rhetoric
Well,
of-
we find out about their morality system.
Yeah, we got this
don't we?
big
Yeah.
rhetoric of them just believing that Pokemon are not inherently bad. It's the people who have them that are bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
It's like-
literally
What's the
say
thoughts on this, guys?
They
say
get so
Pokemon
much
not
depth
bad, but
to them.
Masters are bad. Or something.
But then Meowth kind of counters with like, "Well, I'm a Meowth and I'm evil without my master."
Just good old
Meowth's
Meowth, though.
master
Yeah.
suggestion, James, in my opinion.
Well, he's.
I think
they're
Giovanni
partners.
is his master.
Yeah, I would say Meowth considers Giovanni a master, and like
'Cause,
Jesse
like-
and James as his equals.
I would only guess that because he's quite upset. Because he says like, "Oh, what about me, boss?" When he sees the Persian.
Yeah.
So you reckon that he's more idolized by the boss instead of the people he's working with?
Yeah, because like Jesse and James and Meowth, they come across to me like equals.
Yeah, they're like.
Well,
a
no,
true-
Meowth sees them as lower than himself.
Oh yeah,
Like,
but I
Meowth
still
calls
think they're
them-
equals though. Like,
yeah, but
in
they're probably
terms
not
of-
Meowth's masters to him.
Yeah.
Like they don't like go Meowth like
Yeah, that's why they consider themselves equals.
Yeah, but okay.
What I
So,
said.
what's the thought on this rhetoric of Pokemon not being bad? Because it's certainly been shown before that there are bad Pokemon.
Well, in the next episode where we see that Tentacruel demolishing cities and like killing thousands of people,
Spoilers.
that
Spoiler
could be
for next episode.
that could be evil.
But that really,
Just gonna
the
put it
thing
out
is,
there.
like, what is considered evil is very much a human construct. And
What
there's
is
like, if we
evil?
break
Yeah,
it down
exactly.
into the philosophical elements of it, if a Pokemon doesn't act that we consider bad, is it evil? Not
Who
necessarily.
are we to
I feel like
judge
that's a
their
conversation.
culture?
That's like something
You
that's
know what
going to
I'm
come up, I think, a bit more in the next episode.
Yeah,
It's
We
like
live-
it's like the moral gray.
morally gray.
Yeah.
It's like, does the end justify the means?
Yeah.
Is a question as well.
Yeah, and like, cause
yeah.
yeah. 'Cause-
Also, I want to. Oh, did you?
no, I was
cover
just
words?
using thinking phrases.
For I don't.
It's my new band name.
Thinking.
I really noticed it this time that Coughing and Ekans had accents in their subtitles.
Really?
Like they,
Oh, actually, do you
They're
know
like-
they
yeah.
They were also
They-
like dumber.
yeah, they were.
Like-
They didn't use like full speech.
Yeah.
so
Yeah, they
it
were
was-
like masters bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like without
Pokemon.
using like R and is and
Whereas like
and
yeah, like
its and
all
words.
of like the good guys Pokemon are well educated.
And
Yeah,
like
apparently.
I want to I don't know I don't know if it's like intentional or not, but is that like kind of like a sign of Orientalism because they're using English in a way that's not as fluent as an English speaker, a native English speaker would.
I don't know.
And they're the the badish characters of the group.
I'd argue no, because we see it quite a lot anyway of just bad guys being stupider than the good
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Uh,
what kids
yeah.
shows kind of
Yeah,
do
it's
most
just
of the
showing
time.
the dumbness and the gruntness of them.
And I guess maybe just for Ekans' case, he can only he has 2 syllables in his name. So it's like his.
So it's coughing.
So it's Gotham.
So it's Coffin.
So
I
yes,
take it back.
continue your point.
Well,
Logan, what was it?
Ekans is snake backwards. I learned that today. I learned that just before this episode. There you go.
Yeah.
I haven't had much sleep.
I
Oh,
I think
that's all right.
I just realized as well that like this is the first episode where we actually see the Pokemon together as a unit.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
Doing
I love
basically being like humans though. Like they
Yeah.
don't have like really like
animalistic traits. They're
any
like
animalistic
personified.
traits. They do everything like a human would do.
that. Mhm.
Yeah.
It's ironic that the we don't see Ash, Misty, and Brock that much in this episode at all.
Yeah.
It's the Pokemon and Jesse and James who really get the limelight in this episode.
Yeah.
Nice change of pace.
Very true.
Mhm.
Yeah. Not even Ash, really.
Yeah.
I
See-
wonder almost if like that personification was just like the gimmick for this episode.
Yeah,
like,
it was fun. Like especially you guys think it was a dream that they were at that like.
that.
it was a
I reckon
sushi
that's
restaurant?
Not a dream. No, it's supposed to be like a bar.
Yeah, I
or
saw it as
sake
a bar.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
if,
that-
if it's not a dream, how they set it up?
Well, I
That's
think it's
what-
part of the gag. It's a
Yeah, I could-
distinctly, it's a distinctly Japanese thing where it's like salarymen, which are like office workers. They'll like go to like they'll either go after drinks or as a work outing they'll go to drinks, and then like they essentially do what the Pokemon did in this episode where they'll commiserate and like chat and stuff. And
And if we're going back to like
Yeah.
the theme park idea, that slow was it a Slowbro or a
It's a
Slowpoke?
slow bro.
Could have easily been like another animatronic just serving like at a restaurant like on the island.
the thing is, we see also in other earlier episodes, like for instance, Misty in a bikini in like a lawn chair just out of nowhere. So like it's kind of a cutaway. It's supposed to be
Yeah.
a funny cutaway gag.
I'll tell you why I think it's a dream.
I read it as a dream as
There's
well.
2 reasons. One, it's uncomfortably too long. It's
Yeah.
just there for too long, and there's a
thought that was
there's a
quite
blurry
funny, yeah.
filter over it, which in my mind indicates this is the dreamlike state.
I
And
thought that implied that they were drunk.
I
Well,
thought
we
it was
got
like
the red marks and stuff
Yeah.
to imply that they're drunk.
I thought it
and
was
then
like yeah
the-
drinking, and it was also like
And then-
sorry, and
yeah.
it was like pitched like it was like nighttime.
When you say it was like too long, it's like, do you mean like there was like one shot
Yeah.
that was slowly pulling away?
Yeah.
And it went on, and there was no like noise. You could just kind of like faintly hear them kind of
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah, I
and
think
it
I
was
thought my
just that,
headphones. I'd like
10
messed around with my
seconds.
headphones because I
Yeah.
thought they were.
It was
too-
weird.
Yeah.
It was weird. I like the shot. It
It was kind of cool. Yeah,
It was a cool
I
little
like,
shot.
What's going on?
But I'd argue that it's not. But it's just like the first thing we're really decisive on 2 against 2.
Yeah.
Listeners, what do you think?
Yeah, what do you
watch the
think?
episode.
Was it a
Was
dream
Is it
or
a
was
dream
it
or was it
real?
not a dream?
That's
Is
I
it
should do
yeah.
this more
Inception?
often.
It's like
Yeah.
Inception or something.
I'm firm it wasn't a dream.
Was the spindle spinning or wasn't it?
Okay, and then I think is it straight after this we see the legendaries?
Well,
or is it
before that they like sleep together and it's really cute. Like,
Which that's an
Ah.
argument as well, because they wake up straight away with Pikachu.
Uh-huh.
Like
But
Pikachu's
also-
eyes open like snappy.
but also, when have you like gone out to the drinks and then woken up like in a room full of your mates?
I'll find out tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, we will.
I just want to bring up something, Dennis. You were saying about how like cutaway gags they do that quite a lot where like objects appear. There's a really funny one early in this episodes of Ekans and
Squirtle.
coughing.
Oh,
And I think Meowth was trying to like get them on.
They're just drinking
Meowth's
tea?
side, yeah. And then suddenly there's like a table and a tea set out of nowhere, and they're
Yeah.
just like drinking tea.
How does Ekans drink tea?
and actually
With his tail?
before
How does Puffin
that,
drink
Oh, yeah.
Bulbasaur and Squirtle are just kind of like lying back on the beach
Oh,
when
yeah.
Pikachu and Charmander
Yeah.
are trying to talk to the Slowpoke,
Uh-huh.
and they're like, oh, it's this like nice on the beach, and Bulbasaur's like, yeah, I could stay here.
Just small
It's very
talk.
funny,
Yeah.
yeah.
And like it's like I wonder if they made Pokemon have more personality because of this episode, because
Hands down.
they realized actually that was quite good having them, because like I think from like they're still kind of thinking that Pokemon are just like subservient or like tools, and they haven't really kind of mellowed out that maybe Pokemon can be like friends as well.
I think that's why we didn't really see much of Butterfree and Pidgeotto as
Mm.
well, because
Yeah, there's a plot hole right there. They could have used them to kind of survey the surroundings.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ah,
But
yeah,
I think the
Pidgeotto.
reason why they didn't use them, I definitely more for Pidgeotto than Butterfree, is because the three starters, they've all had this journey, and we see them, and we get the personalities in their individual episodes. We kind of get that with Butterfree, but that's mainly more as it's a Caterpie than a
Yeah.
Butterfree.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't think they used them, because it would have been a nice addition to have all Pokemon. I feel like.
And I also think the only time they would have used them would have been the next day after they saw a giant Moltres and Zapdos try to kill them. So they probably didn't want to send out their tiny little Pidgey to go.
Yeah, it
Survey
could have been
them.
dangerous.
Or Brock's Zubat,
We had
That's funny.
like each Pokemon's personality that was in their individual episodes was just incredibly heightened in this episode.
Yes. Yeah.
Bulbasaur,
You really saw
again,
it.
was
Do they keep that from now on? The
They
heightened?
kind of keep them.
Like
we'll see.
Bulbasaur's-
We'll see a little bit with Charmander.
Squirtle.
Bulbasaur's
Oh,
always the
Pikachu in the
changes.
next episode as well. That's
Yeah.
a super.
Bulbasaur's always kind of stubborn and
yeah.
moody. I think.
Squirtle's always having a good time.
Squirtle's funny in
And
this episode.
Charmander, we'll see with Charmander.
Yeah,
Oh.
we shall.
Ooh.
I really, at the start when Team Rocket are like buried in the sand, and then like the cookie, the Krabby, the
He says cookie, yeah.
Yeah, he says
Yeah, I
cookie.
was
He's
like,
cookie.
cookie monster.
And then like I thought I was like, because then I thought he was gonna pinch their butts, but then like he came to their front, so then I was like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? I was like a little nervous that he was gonna pinch off something.
For
Dennis,
me,
you called me gross earlier before we started recording for something.
What?
And you're like, get your mind out of the gutter, Oliver, and then you say something like that.
For me, I was
The
thinking.
backward beating of muck.
I was waiting because I knew it was called Island of the Giant Pokemon.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the perspective change from like seeing like the small Krabby and then like something the camera does something
Yeah.
and you realize
It's Gigantamaxes.
it's like a giant Krabby.
That's what they did
but
with
that
Pikachu.
didn't happen.
They did it with Pikachu. Like
Yeah.
Jesse and James be like, "Oh, there's Pikachu," and then it's revealed to be a giant Pikachu.
Or Bigachu.
Pikachu.
Big
That's a good one.
Yeah. Thank you.
Jesse and James have a fun little plot in this as well, centered around a
Yeah.
telephone
Yeah.
box.
And we
Awesome.
find out a lot about them. Like they
Yeah.
got Coughing and Ekans from
For
like,
gifts?
a Christmas
Yeah.
party and a birthday
I
present.
like to think that they gave them to each other. That's what I like to think.
Yeah, it's quite cute.
Oh.
That's actually like that kind of makes it more interesting to
Oh.
maybe why they can't like they don't use like they can't catch Pikachu because like their main two Pokemon they use they got given as gifts they don't actually catch.
Yeah.
Ah. Yeah, I haven't even thought of that. Yeah.
Thinking deep, man.
Yeah, I know.
They don't actually know how to catch Pokemon properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was really good is Jesse and James wake up on the beach, and right next to them is the telephone box.
Yeah.
How convenient.
Yeah.
But they don't have the money
have-
for
yeah.
it.
Yeah, they haven't
So
got
they
money.
Yeah.
call Giovanni collect.
Well, they go back the next day
Oh,
after
yeah,
they get
that's
knocked
right.
out by the Moltres to call Giovanni on a collect and to ask for help, but they just can't help themselves and just do their
They
mono.
start doing
Yeah,
that.
they started to talk to him and they're like, wait. We got to do the motto first. And the introduction. I think
Protect
they
all
call it.
worlds.
Motto challenge.
I could not do it.
To protect the world from devastation,
to
Unite all evils within our nation.
to announce the evils of truth and love,
To the
to extend
extend
our
our
reach
reach
to the stars above.
Jesse,
James.
Team Rocket, blast off at the speed of light.
surrender
And now
or
we're prepared to fight.
Meowth, that's right. Even funnier, Meowth did that early in the episode. And
Oh, yeah,
just
by
said,
himself.
Meowth, that's right.
And then he realizes that he needs like Jesse and James to be intimidating.
It was so funny them calling Giovanni though, and he's like, "Stop wasting my time!" Like,
Yeah.
and hangs up.
Do you think? Okay, so we find out Giovanni owns the episode.
The
owns
island.
the
The
island.
island,
He's like
sorry,
Walt
the
Disney.
episode. Yeah, he
Yeah.
owns like Pokemon Land.
Yeah.
Do you think he knows that they're just calling from Pokemon Land? Like it would have been told him they were
Yeah.
click and click.
I mean, if he had talked to them for a bit longer, he probably could have told them.
Maybe call already.
Yeah. Like if
Yeah.
that's on Giovanni, if he had like given the Team Rocket a bit of time of
Well,
day,
That's
they would have
that might have been
realized.
why he was also kind of annoyed though, because he might have been like, "Why the hell are you calling me from Pokemon
So
Land?"
yeah, it was
Potentially.
funny that Giovanni just hung up because they did the motto annoyed him. But in the
So
Japanese
funny.
version, I got Japanese back this
Oh.
time.
Ooh.
Wow. Giovanni,
Paradigm
We're not
shift.
worthy. We're not
Giovanni was
worthy.
actually mad at the fact that James spent all his salary on a Magikarp.
that's
So that's
cool.
why he didn't go and help him.
What a callback!
Excellent.
I
That's
love
good.
it.
That would have been really
Why
good.
did they
in-
keep
in-
that?
I don't
in
know.
English
It's
It's
I
so
didn't read-
crazy.
I didn't read that far.
It's all linked together. Like I forget how connected
Yeah.
these episodes are.
That's so, cool.
good.
Yeah, this
Such
this
good
episode
moment.
feels like completely like you could watch this separately from the other two episodes.
Yeah.
Like you didn't
It'd still
have
be a standalone, yeah.
and it'd still be
Yeah.
a
I
standalone
mean, you-
episode.
Ooh.
You kind of see that they kind of were swept up on a beach, so it's like
Yeah, but like you
Yeah.
know, they could just wake up swept up.
yeah.
Like I feel I almost forgot as well, just watching it, that like They had just kind of like been.
I like how they hang a lampshade on it at the start. It's like Ash was like, or Brock was like, "How did we survive that cyclone?" And Ash was like, "We were lucky."
Yeah, that's it.
It's
the
like,
conversation.
that's it. That's all
The
they talk. They
USS
don't
Machina.
talk about the fact that like potentially loads of people could have died on the SS Anne or anything.
Oh,
They have like
yeah.
no idea. They just completely, as well as this episode, they'll completely like forget it. They like we were in a sinking ship and then got flown away in a cyclone and then got stranded on an island and then got attacked by giant
Good point.
Godzilla like
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Ash is 10.
Because, did they ever learn that it was Pokemon Land?
I think they see them blow up, right?
Okay,
Yes.
but like
And
we
then-
all know.
Oh no, they go through that Zapdos.
Yeah, so we all know we all know about Disneyland and Disney World.
Yeah.
Would they all know about Pokemon Land?
Oh, I mean,
Ah.
I feel like you'd be like cool. You'd like kind of know about
Yeah,
it.
because like if you're a fan of Pokemon,
Yeah.
you would know about like if you're like Ash had like
Yeah, he was a fan. Like when
he was a massive fan, so
yeah.
surely like one of his dreams would have probably been to go to Pokemon Land.
Probably.
So you think they could have realized giant Pokemon?
I've seen this
It is
somewhere.
established though that the island they are and the next town, Porta Vista, is a 3-hour cruise right away from the main Kanto islands. So I don't know.
Right.
Maybe it's like maybe
Oh,
it
yeah.
didn't
Oh,
read
that's
Kanto.
right.
I'm not
They're
sure.
not in Kanto.
Yeah.
They're like,
Is Porta
yeah.
Vista in any of the
No.
games?
No.
So it's like I think it's supposed to be like off the Kanto map, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 1 island and 2 island.
I thought it was weird seeing like the clips that from the opening, like that giant, when giant Charizard is breathing onto
There was a
it.
lot
yeah.
of clips.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's from the opening.
Mm.
Same
like-
with them. Oh no, I think the next episode. Sorry.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah,
I
there are
love
clips from that
like
episode
spotting
as well.
the clips. It's so good,
Yeah.
so satisfying.
It's weird. I used to hate that they used like clips from the episodes when I was younger. I used to be like, they should use original animation, and because it looks nicer and it looks tidier. But actually, I kind of grew like Rick and Morty does it now, where they'll use like clips from episodes.
In the intro.
And sometimes
They've
clips
done it
not
since
from
the
episodes.
beginning.
Well.
Yeah, since the beginning,
Yeah.
I've always
Where
had
is
like
that Cthulhu?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
baby
waiting for
Cthulhu.
that. Yeah.
I feel like they're gonna say that for like the series finale
I
because
hope
it
so.
like leads into the title
one?
card. You know when they're like escaping and
when they're running and they go down the portal.
no, Summer's
no.
holding the baby Cthulhu.
Oh,
In the
yeah,
intro
yeah,
sequence.
Yeah.
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 Tune in for our next Rick and Morty episode.
Yeah, we got a Rick and Morty
Let us know if you
podcast
want us
called
to do Rick and
Rick's
Morty.
Experience.
Here's my notes:
Rick Experience.
mechanical
Experience.
amusement park, Pokemon Land. Wow. That's what
Yeah,
I-
yeah.
That's Logan's thoughts.
That was my thought process.
Excellent.
I just want to quickly mention again that first shot of Rhydon. I feel like is another Godzilla.
Is that the
Yeah.
Scorpion
Yeah,
one?
they use
Yeah.
like a
Was
lot
that
of
the Scorpion
Godzilla
Pokemon?
noises.
What was the snappy? Was this?
That's that.
Crabby?
No, there
Kabutops.
was the big one, the big pincer one.
Oh,
Blue
Kabutops.
With the scythe.
Kabutops,
Yeah.
yeah.
Kabutops.
That was terrifying.
It was scary.
That
Kabutops
actually,
is a fossil Pokemon. So I don't want to know how to know about Kabutops.
It's a rock water type.
Yeah.
It's a weak to grass.
Did it exist at this
electric
point in the
fighting,
game?
ground.
Well, they did, but like it's
Thanks, Oliver.
it's fossil Pokemon,
You're
so
welcome,
they're extinct
Logan.
Pokemon.
They
Yeah.
might have recreated it, like, like
Yeah.
T-Rexes and stuff. Oh, this is, oh my god, it's Jurassic Park.
yeah, Harry
This
said
is-
I
that.
said that
Oh,
like
did
20
you?
minutes
Oh
ago.
my God. I-
It was a throwaway to be fair. Yeah.
Na, na,
You know, quick aside, that was the first song I learned on trombone.
That's
Wow,
beautiful.
That's so
wow.
cool.
so
Can-
good. You
can
have to show us
Yeah,
something.
show us
Bust
right
out
now.
the
You want to buy me a trombone? Then sure.
Okay.
Bust it out, Harry.
We
To
just
all
got
our
it back
listeners,
pocket.
if you want to hear Harry play,
Subscribe
Go to
to
our
our
Patreon.
Yeah,
so
no, I was just about to say that. Subscribe to our
Should we
Patreon.
do
don't-
some
we don't have a
final,
Patreon, but
some
we will.
final wrap-ups?
Oh, I have.
have you got any more
No notes. Okay.
Final wrap-ups?
Who wants to
Okay.
go?
Would you like
Wait,
to start, Dennis?
we didn't mention. I don't. Oh, maybe we did. But like how the Pokemon, when they're seeing the giant Pokemon with the starter Pokemon, they send out like the one of the same species. So like they send out the Squirtle to talk to
Yeah.
the Blastoise, and it's like, oh,
Are
I
you-
don't
Are
know.
Are you saying that's segregation?
He actually
No, not
says,
segregation.
he says, "What's up,
Oh, like-
brother?"
Yeah, it's like, what's up,
That's
brother? The
It's like-
Blastoise
that's
just looks
like-
at him angrily.
That's like, it's like, hey, you're black. Go talk to him.
Maybe
'cause he's
Squirtle's
also
a big
black.
Hulk
It's like
Hogan
just a
fan.
superficial connection.
Yeah.
Brother.
It was
uh,
pretty funny though. I just thought.
I like this episode.
Yeah, I love
it
it.
was
I
such
just,
a
it was
great
just like
fun.
the brother thing
Oh.
got me. I was cracking up.
and
You like
Squirtle's
Squirtle
all
now, don't
cheeky.
you?
Yeah.
You like him now.
Yeah, I
Squirtle's
did
like,
like it.
"Hey."
I liked him more in this episode because he was just kind of having a good laugh.
Yeah.
It was funny though. It seemed to me like they used up a lot of throwaway they use like legendaries, and they just threw them away. They just
Yeah,
like plopped them
Zapdos,
in their
Moltres.
episode.
I was saying to Oliver, we were watching the title crawl,
Yes.
and Zapdos and Moltres pop up. Zapdos and Articuno. And I said to Oliver straight away, like, it's a shame they don't actually use them in the anime.
And I was like, oh, what? Really? They
Yeah.
never use them. Sad.
And then the Zapdos pops up, like, oh, I was wrong. And then I realized, like, a second later, oh, Moltres pops up as well in this
Yeah.
one.
Oh my god.
Do we never see an Articuno in the anime?
Oh, I could
you
be
do
wrong.
eventually,
Yeah.
probably.
Probably. If we see the other two. It makes more
Surely.
sense.
Harry's a fake fan,
I
everybody.
you heard it here first, guys. I actually despise Pokemon.
This guy.
My entire 23 years of existence has been a lie to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how they
alright.
use that Giovanni owns it as like an excuse to like just destroy the place
Yeah,
gonna
like
be
it
okay,
doesn't
Harry.
matter that like,
because he's the bad guy.
and he
so-
obviously has lots of money.
yeah.
Because I just destroyed all these things, and I was like, oh, I feel so sorry for the person who has to rebuild these mechanical robots. And then I was like, wait, he's the bad guy. I don't care.
Yeah,
So-
man. Yeah.
So,
Hey,
yeah.
maybe he owns Porta Vista.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, well, he's not doing great after next episode.
Exactly.
No,
So
bad
maybe
guy,
that's-
he's fine.
I really enjoyed this episode.
Whoa.
I really
Yeah,
loved.
dude.
I was like, I thought it was so revolutionary as like being expected to read something as a child on
What?
TV, like subtitled. And think about it now, like
Revolutionary.
Forcing me
It's
to read.
you.
How dare you, TV?
it's like, well, no, because like.
here to watch. Not
Because for Parasite, it was like the guy,
No spoilers.
for the director though, when he got the award, he was like, "Thank you. Hopefully, Americans will learn to read." Like,
Well, I feel like that it's. I mean, we're from New Zealand,
Yeah.
and I feel
I'm
like it's
from Wales.
pretty standard reading subtitles
Sorry.
and things. Like,
but like,
I don't think people
That's
are
like-
like shocked at that.
no, but it's a
But maybe-
legitimate thing. It's a legitimate thing for like the Academy Awards and stuff. It's like if stuff
Quit,
have
Logan.
subtitles, it's like less likely to win an Academy Award
Yeah,
or
but it's an
whatever.
international.
It's like just
Yeah.
because like there's that language barrier, they consider it kind of alienating.
That's like I'm saying like that's America though. I'm saying like for us New Zealanders, I don't feel like it's as big.
Well, when was the last time you watched something with subtitles?
Well, there's
besides-
like-
Yesterday.
What was that?
The episode.
Oh my god. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Dennis,
the
do you
episode yesterday.
want to finish your thoughts?
I really enjoyed. Again, I love this episode. It just it was funny, and I actually laughed because sometimes you rewatch episodes and you're like, that was so funny as a kid. You've got one
I watched Ponyo a week ago, so
in Japanese or English?
in Japanese.
Oh my gosh, I'm
Yeah.
so proud. Awesome.
Anyway, continue the thought.
Um,
Sorry. Yeah, I'm cultured.
Yeah. Subs before
An
dubs. Actually, I'm a subs kind of guy later on for Pokemon, but anyway. Yeah, it's great, fun episode, and as I was saying, you know how like when you rewatch something that you watched as a kid and you're like, oh, that was funny to me as a kid, but now it's not as funny. This was still funny to me.
That's
like,
good.
It was like I still
Yeah.
thoroughly enjoyed it. It was good.
Tweet.
Yeah, I really loved this episode. I thought it was so funny. I loved just seeing the Pokemon just interact with each other. I thought it was super cute, and with Meowth and everything, like there was such a cool dynamic. And the plot twist genuinely got me that it was a Pokemon park. Like I had no idea. And then
Yeah.
all the mechanical Pokemon are crashing into each other, and I was just like, "Whoa!" Like I didn't see that coming. And then Jesse and James in the phone booth with Giovanni was just like
It was so funny. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
funny.
Definitely.
So this is a highlight for me for the whole series. I'd say so far.
Is that your most favorite episode so far?
No,
Here comes the Squirtle.
I would say I would still
Genuinely.
put the Dragonite episode. I
Really?
think Bill's Lighthouse.
Oh.
Good
up there.
episode.
Yeah.
Good episode.
Yeah, it's up there though.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this episode as well. The cool giant Pokemon and the twist of it being a giant theme park is just wonderful. But what I really enjoyed was the personalities of the Pokemon, and that being the predominant like force of this episode.
Yeah.
And just seeing the evolution and the evolution of each individual personality. Squirtle being more wacky and fun, Charmander being quite timid and stuff, and then Bulbasaur still being a bit of a hard ass. But Pikachu being the leader, Meowth
Pikachu
being
does lead.
annoying,
Yeah.
Coughing and Neck just being stupid. It's so cool. It's a cool
So
dynamic.
cool.
And the ending, I really like the ending of just, here's Pokemon Land and Giovanni being like,
Yeah.
oh, god damn it.
That
Oh,
cost
no,
me
so much
millions.
revenue from that. And then a lovely, happy ending this time with the Slowpoke evolving. It was nice. I like this episode.
Oh yeah.
Logan?
Yeah, it was cool. It was fun. I was like loving it, and I was like in awe of like ready for the explanation of these giant Pokemon. And then the carpet got like pulled out from underneath them,
Aw.
and it was a theme park, which is great. Like I think like that was like perfect. That was their intention, obviously, as well.
Yeah.
So they got me. They fooled me. So
You got
fool
pranked.
me once.
What would be worse than it being a theme park?
What would be worse? If it was just like
A dream.
All a dream.
I know. I think it'd be worse if it's like Dragonite and it's just never explained again.
Oh yeah.
I think that would be worse. Like
if they're
they,
just giant for no reason.
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm glad there was an explanation for their giantness.
Maybe Dragonite was a runaway robot Pokemon.
Yeah.
Ah, why did I think of that?
Oh my
Oh!
god.
I ruined the mystique for
Yeah, you just
myself.
ruined the magic of that
That
whole episode.
ruins that episode.
No, that was a real one.
Yeah, that was
right?
real. That was
It-
real.
It was
That was
really
real. That was
hard.
real.
Bill's research
That
was
was really
nothing.
real, guys.
It was real. The Dragonite's real. Okay.
I mean,
It's
why
not real.
would? What reason would Giovanni have to have a giant Dragonite just roaming the ocean?
Why would he have a Zapdos and a Moltres? That can
Yeah.
Pikachu
like,
and
it may have just escaped.
But yeah, super funny. I love the personalities. Very good episode. Just as good as just as good Pokemon. Good
Yeah.
Pokemon.
It
Not
was-
my favorite. Charmander's still my favorite. But actually, we didn't talk about it when they come back onto the. When they all reunite again and everyone looks like genuinely happy, especially Pikachu, that made me feel.
it's very cute.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
really cute.
I was feeling the
Oh
Charmander
yeah, that
vibes.
was they had like a big hug.
Yeah.
Even the Ekans in the coffin were very happy. with
Yeah, and
Jesse
like
James.
Jesse and James are
And they're
tearing
like,
up.
"Where's Meow?" They're
Yeah.
like, I'm here.
It's a
Yeah.
nice,
Yeah.
wholesome, fun episode. Yeah. So
Yeah,
thank you
that was
guys
really
for
nice.
Thank
listening
you.
and watching.
Thank you so much.
Next up, we're going to be talking about.
While he gets the name, don't forget to follow
Tentacool.
us on all our medias.
Yeah, that's right.
Our Instagrams,
Well,
our
our
Spotifys,
medias.
our YouTubes,
Our
and
Facebook.
Facebook.
Dexperience podcast on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube,
And
or it
email
might just be
us.
Dexperience.
If you have any questions at the Dexperience podcast at gmail.com.
And give us your comments on if you think that little bar.
Yeah,
scene
we've been
was a
reading.
dream or
Yeah.
not.
We've been reading all of them, and it's been really cool. Like.
It was lots of fun.
Talking, it's kind of surprising every time. It's like, oh my god, people are actually listening.
Yeah.
to it.
Engagement.
Oh my god, I can't believe
Yeah.
like people are like, it's like so cool. It's really cool, and I'm glad that people are listening and enjoying it. Like the four of us talking about like just Pokemon,
We love
and
you guys.
as
Yeah.
well. And
you
I
so
hope
much.
we hope that everyone's like keeping themselves healthy and safe, because I know in New Zealand
Eat those
doing
beans.
we're doing quite well. I
As
think.
of today, there's only one person with
The whole of
well,
New
whole
Zealand.
New Zealand with,
Yeah,
with
let's
COVID.
knock wood.
It's going to be very out of date information.
Yeah, it really is
By
by
the
the time
time-
this
By
comes
the
out.
time we're
They'll
just
be like,
dating
no, there's not.
ourselves
There's
right
2,000
now.
people
It's
with
just
it
like
now.
people are like, oh my god. So we
Um,
hope everyone's keeping safe.
This will be a history.
Yeah, and if
piece.
you're watching or listening during the day, I hope you had the good rest of your day. And if you're listening in the evening, have a good
Guten Tag.
night.
Next episode is Tentacool versus Tentacruel.
Whoa!
Or if you want to, this is like a Star Wars thing right now, because we're gonna do Beauty and the Beach as well, but then we're gonna do them in reverse order.
Yeah,
So
we'll
it's
do
like
them in
Star
reverse.
Wars. So choose how
So
you
if
want
that
to
wasn't
listen to it.
confusing.
Yeah, don't worry. Just don't worry about that.
just
just
tune in.
watch them in the
Again,
order
if
they
you're
come
watching in the
out.
day, good evening.
Yeah.
If you're watching at night, good morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
See you guys.
See you guys. Thank you for listening.
Experience everything you could want. Dex. Experience. Live your dreams. Dex. Experience. Come and watch.